Did not make a pregame video for this game because I usually don't do that. But I didn't make a pregame video because I didn't really think very much of this game, and maybe the team didn't either. I don't know. But yeah, game just ended like a minute ago. 26-23 in overtime. 49ers win. Um, yeah, not good. Really, really not good. It may not end up mattering at all. In fact, I think there's a pretty good chance that it's not going to matter at all, but that was not what you want to see your team do in a situation like this where you have the opportunity to officially clinch a playoff spot and grip onto the 5 seed really tightly. I don't know. I'm disappointed for sure. I I knew that there were some ingredients here that could have led to a trap game. Like, I understood that going into this game. There was a lot of reason to suspect this being a trap game. We had won 4 in a row. We were playing a really bad team, a 3-10 football team, a team that we'd beaten like 9 or 10 times in a row. They're playing for the draft for the most part. They've got their third string quarterback and their second string running backs in there. I get all of that, but I didn't think that we would actually lose this game. I thought it was going to be close. I thought it was going to be competitive. I thought, we certainly can lose, I guess, but I didn't see us actually losing mainly because when I was thinking about this game, I thought that Russell Wilson was going to have a real good game because, I mean, he played badly last week. He did, and not all of it was on him, but enough of it was on him to where I thought he's going to bounce back from that game. He's going to have a good game out there today. He's going to make a bunch of plays for us. He's going to make sure we get this win, and that'll be enough to carry us. And he didn't play bad. Okay, Russell Wilson did not play a bad game at all. The numbers are pretty. He was working behind the 8 ball a lot in this game because of the field conditions and the weather, and basically, the receivers were struggling a little bit to get open at parts of this game. So I'm not going to sit here and act like he played a bad game and he's the reason why we lost. I expected a little better, but it wasn't bad. The running game without Rashad Penny and without DJ Fluker and later on without even Justin Simmons, running game was fine. Carson had a great game. Davis had a good game. Ran the ball for 160 to 170 yards. It's not that. So we got enough from the offense to win this game under usual circumstances. But for the second time this season, when we play the San Francisco 49ers, we got receivers running wide open in our secondary the whole game. Dante Pettis, Kittle. Kittle did not have a monster game because, frankly, Nick Mullins was just missing the bastard. But Kittle would have had a 200-yard game on us if not for a couple of drops and a couple of missed targets, because he had our safeties beat multiple times and just got overthrown. So what you see in the stat sheet, which is Nick Mullins having a really good game, doesn't even do it justice how bad our defense was today. We could have given up another 400 yards today if not for some of the bad throws and a couple of drops. The run defense was better, although, we gave up a couple big runs in overtime that did not help our cause at all. The pass rush, it was good, but then Nick Mullins did a really good job of getting the ball out quickly. I mean, there were multiple plays where Frank Clark, or I think it was Calitro one time, or Jefferson or Mingo was right there hitting him as he threw the ball, and it was an incomplete pass, but, it's better than a sack. So it's this secondary, which I was high on after last week. I really was. They impressed the hell out of me last week when they shut down Thielen and Diggs and really held Minnesota in check, even though their receivers are, cream of the crop. Today, back to the old stuff, back to the stuff that had me concerned coming into the second half of this season, where Shaquille Griffin just he makes enough bad plays to make you kind of forget about some of the good ones. And I'm not mad at Trey Flowers. Nothing Trey Flowers does this season can really make me mad because I know he's a rookie. But just and I understand, guys. I understand the field sucks, and that hurt us a lot today. We were slipping and fucking sorry. I'm not restarting this fucking video. I'm pretty irritated with the way things went down. I'm not shooting this video again. Um, motherfucking ESPN. Just what I need. Yeah. McDougal went out. That hurt us a lot. McDougal got hurt. Hopefully that's not serious. I don't know. I mean, I want to be nice to this secondary. I do, but that was the number one thing I took away from this game in the negative, man. We got a good pass rush on Mullins most of this game. We had a pretty good handle on their running game, but all game long, man, receivers and tight ends running wide open in our secondary. And some of that's reflected in the numbers, but honestly, some of it isn't even done justice by the numbers. They had players open just about every time they dropped back. And I'm not shocked by it because I was not drinking the Kool-Aid on this defense. I really wasn't. But seeing that it doesn't give you a lot of confidence going into the playoffs. Now that's the big thing that I took away from this game. Our secondary just looked lost out there. And I'll give them some passes. McDougal got hurt. The field was crap. I get all of that. But we are playing a bunch of backups. A backup quarterback, backup receivers, not backup tight ends, backup running backs while we're at it. Why don't we just throw that in there? And a week after we saw what happened in Minnesota, when we hosted Minnesota, where we really had a handle on those guys pretty much the whole game, today just reminds you that you never know what you're going to get from game to game, and that's how I know we don't necessarily have a great defense. And today it looked like a pretty bad defense for most of this game, I got to be honest. I know 26 points on the road is not the worst thing that a defense can give up, but today did not fill me up with a ton of confidence that we'll be able to, handle creative offenses that teams like the Bears have. And if we get that far, teams like the Rams and Saints. So Cowboys, okay, Cowboys, I get it. Their offense just isn't that good. But most of these teams that we're going to play, if we're going to try to make a run at things, they can do some of these things that the Niners did to us. And they generally have a lot more talent than the 49ers do. That's the big takeaway for me. There's some other stuff in this game that, of course, got on my nerves. I mean, how many times did we check it down today? Mike Davis and Chris Carson combined for 14 receptions on 14 targets. So don't get me wrong, efficient. But my God, it's like I've really expected Wilson to light things up out there today. And I'm not saying it's all his fault. I get it. The receivers were slipping and sliding out there, not playing a very good game. Baldwin was the only guy who was reliably getting open, and he's still recovering from his injury. So we all know he's not at 100%, so I can't get mad at him for that. And, the Niners played tough on defense. They were able to they got the best of our offensive line throughout this game. So I understand that you have to dump it down a lot, but, man, all these checkdowns over and over and over, it feels like we're running that remedial offense again. And again, I have to point it out. I mean, we're giving up on 3rd and 14 in overtime. I know the passing game has not been prolific, but it's 3rd and 14. We punt the ball. We might not see it again, and we're just giving up. That's maddening to me. It drives me insane. We have a good quarterback. We have a couple good wide receivers. 3rd and 14 is very convertible, and we basically just give up. We're like, yeah, let's just punt it in these horrible rainy conditions and see what happens. And, I haven't had to say this in a while, but This is why there are some things with the Brian Schottenheimer offense that I refuse to embrace. And there are reasons why I believe we're never going to have a great offense as long as he's around. We don't have a great offense right now. We have a great running offense, but there's more to an offense than just that. And the fact that we give up so easily on some of these drives where we get into long distance situations, I don't see other teams doing that. I've said all this before, but today it reminded us that even though I'm not saying the offense played bad today, they obviously didn't. They had almost 400 yards of offense today. Wilson, it wasn't a big game like I was expecting from him, but it was an okay game. I'm not going to act like this is on him. The running game did their job, even though they were down to their third string guard. Okay, I get all of that, but there are things that we can do that would at least make me feel like this offense is long-term headed in the right direction. Right now, I feel like we're very good at some things, and that's good enough to keep us afloat, but I don't like the strategy. I don't like the mindset. I don't like the way that our offense looks at situations sometimes. I know people are going to talk about some of the officiating in this game. I'm not thrilled with the PI on Shaquille Griffin at the end, but there was a not so great roughing the passer call on a 49er defender on our last touchdown drive. So I don't really feel like the referees lost us this game. I don't think they did a very good job out there. I would have, liked to have seen maybe that last holding call that killed our overtime offensive drive. I don't know if that was a good call or not because the replay didn't show it, but I don't know. We didn't deserve to win today. That's all you can really say about that. We played like a JV team out there for a lot of this, and if things go our way over the next couple weeks, it won't matter. We will still have the 5 seed. The Vikings, I think, still have to play the Bears, and I think they play the Lions as well. So we should be able to count on them going 1-1. So if we can go 1-1, which should be very doable, this loss doesn't matter. And I'm perfectly happy to say that this team deserves a little bit of a pass because they played on a shit-ass Levi Stadium field that I don't know how they let that happen, but it happened. And we're not going to have to play on that stadium again this year. But just not the way you want to see your team play. I can understand the missed execution on the field a little bit just because of the conditions. I don't care for the mindset. You have 3rd and 14 with an elite deep ball thrower. Let him go for it. All right, I'm going to bounce back from this quick. It's not fun to lose to the 49ers, but we did ruin their #1 draft pick, I guess. So there's that. All right, I'm going to check out this late game. See y'all later. Go Hawks. I will never miss a pregame video again because clearly when I do, the team tends to not take the game seriously either. So lesson learned.